But us four got to go up and kick it with Keenan during the live taping of SNL when Justin Timberlake was there. Okay. So like they told us too, like they have no idea who you're gonna see back there. So like it could be anybody. Just get ready. And I've worked in radio, so I've had a pretty good run in with celebrities, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not. There's nobody. Like I met Nicki Minaj, Migos. Nothing's gonna faze me, dog. Not one bit. Right when we walk in, turn the corner, first person we see, Mark Cuban, dog. I go. There's like a little mingling happening after the show. And that's when like Chappelle was hanging out, so I gotta like say what's up to him.
It's always turn this into a beatbox. I swear to God. You were doing some shows with Gabriel Iglesias, who you're working with someone that's, you know, top 10 all time, and then you got to do that in your hometown, right?
Yeah.
So how did that feel?
Dude, that was a dream come true. So when I put out my EP on iTunes, it went #1 the first night, which was a blessing. And I was like, oh, okay, Matt Rife definitely gonna pass it. And then he went to #2, and I stayed at #1.
Whoa.
And that's when I was like, oh, this is something. This is cool.
You're now rocking with the funny truth, because it's better with a laugh. The truth is more appealing when it puts you on your ass. Keep it real, I will make it slap with the real. I feel like everybody got a cap, and I'm finna reveal it through a joke. The humor is the way that I provoke. It's the only way to get you to promote. So here we go. We getting serious now. It's the truth, but you know we gotta give you a smile. You know we gotta do that now. Stick around, and we gon' make you laugh out loud. Stick around, and we gon' make you laugh out loud. You're now rocking with the funny truth.
Tell me about the Saturday Night Live experience and the Kenan Thompson.
Yeah, dude, that was sick, man. I did a showcase at Mic Drop. That was a Kenan Thompson showcase. And then from that, I got selected to go meet Keenan at SNL. And shout out to all the Phoenix comics too, and everybody in the AZ scene, because that Kenan Thompson showcase, I've done a couple of them now, and that's still, in my opinion, the best one I've ever been a part of.
Okay.
And it was sick because like all the comics were like, it wasn't like a competition, so it was just a showcase. So you just go up there, like
right.
there wasn't that like, you know, that comedy contest.
Oh
feeling,
yeah. Oh yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
Weird and tight
for
and
sure.
shit. It wasn't like that. It just felt like a regular show, and that really helped everybody. And so yeah, it was just a good look for all of us. And they always talk about that show. But so from that one, I got selected to go, and then they picked me, another girl from Chicago. Her name's Tanisha Wilson. She goes by She Is the T on Instagram. I think that's what it is. Either way, she got like 1 million followers on TikTok and Instagram.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude, we were is me, her, this homie Rod Minger from Atlanta, who's super fucking funny, and this guy Zach Pickett from he won the New York one. So us four got to go up and kick it with Keenan during the live taping of SNL when Justin Timberlake was there.
Okay.
Holy shit, dude.
Where'd they seat you? Like, or were you backstage?
So we were in Keenan's green room for the most of it. Yeah, for like most of it.
Though.
And then
do you get to watch like the stuff going on while you're in there? Like,
yeah,
like
dude,
comedy shows?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. We were watching just the live taping from like the back of the house, and that was kind of surreal too.
Yeah, it's like happening. Like
it's happening.
The
like,
next door.
Yeah, and so I guess like I'm kind of like skimming through. How much time we got? We got time, right?
Yeah, we got time.
I'm jumping chapters.
Please.
Yeah,
do.
so they fly us out there. We do a showcase in Atlantic City. Have you guys ever been to Atlantic City?
No.
Listen, dude.
Isn't that where Trump like tried to have casinos?
Well, no, that's where Trump did, and Trump crushed over there in Atlantic City. Bro, Atlantic City is so wild that I walked in there and I was like, you know what? We need Trump back over here. That was crazy. I never thought I would say those words out of my mouth. I was like, you know, we need Trump back now.
We need to restore order.
Yeah. Trump's in one place where they're like Atlantic City's
Is
like.
that New Jersey?
Yes. It's,
Okay.
it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
That's all you
Yeah,
had to say.
so
That makes a lot
Atlantic
more
City
sense.
reminded me of Las Vegas without deodorant. That's really what it felt like in there.
Sure.
And
So-
it's not like Las Vegas is a clean place either.
Yeah,
Like,
so you know,
Jesus
but
Christ.
you're by the Atlantic Ocean, which is cool for a person who dwells in the desert. So that was dope, and also it was like a cool vibe. That show was dope. So we did that show there in Atlantic City. Performed with like a lot of Philadelphia comics too.
Yep.
Like yeah,
I did a show in Philly in December.
Was it like my show was like full of like black homies?
Yeah, there's a lot of black people in
A
this.
lot of black homies. Mine was all black homies. But there's also like
I'd say half the crowd was black.
because of like the Shane Gillis rising. There's also like a whole white guy Pennsylvania comedy.
Sure. Well, okay.
lane
That
too
makes
now.
sense. Yeah.
But the one I was on, everyone kept calling. They're like referring to young homies as young bulls. Like, yeah, my young bulls.
Dude,
these young bulls.
Philadelphia is weird. It's like there's like this ghetto black side of it, and then there's just this gay side of it. like it reminds me of a Portland,
Oh yeah, and
like an East Coast Portland.
like so like gay side, you mean like the Sixer fans? So that's the only franchise in Philadelphia I don't want smoke with.
Trust the process.
Trust the transition.
There it is.
Well, the show I was doing it's like a their version of Don't Tell, just within Philly. It's called Next in Line Philly, and the show I was at, it was a cool little venue, but afterwards it was this huge gay party. After they're like, you want to go check out this room, and I went in there. It was just flaming. Like I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know why I said nice, but
But
Good for you, buddy.
the neighborhood we were
You
in.
didn't finish your fucking story.
hold on, let's go ahead. Wait, hold on. I know where mine's. I know where mine's bookmark at. This gay party that you were at.
I'm just
though.
saying, Philly's. It's funny. It's,
Put your arm up when you're telling the gay story, dog. Watch that arm, fool.
The claw.
So yeah, so then we did the show in Atlantic City. The next night we go to SNL, and man, even from like walking into the building to like 30 Rock was crazy. Like as we were walking in, that's where they filmed Jimmy Fallon. The
Hallowed
set.
grounds, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In comedy, it's just
Yeah, exactly. And so like we're walking in, and like right away, like Questlove's like walking around the corner, and one of the homies asked him for a pic, and Quest was like, "Nah," and I was like, "Oh shit, all right, we're 0 for 1 as a group."
We're on that kind of time.
And yeah, and so like they told us too, like they're like, "Hey, like they have no idea who you're gonna see back there, so like it could be anybody. Just get ready." And I've worked in radio, so I've had a pretty good run in with celebrities, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's nobody. Like I met Nicki Minaj, Migos, Young Thug. I've like been around some people in some situations. I'm like, nothing's gonna faze me, dog, not one bit.
Yeah.
And I went in there mentally prepared to see everybody from like the comedy world of who's who. Mm-hmm. Bro, right when we walk in, turn the corner, first person we see, Mark Cuban, dog.
really?
What the hell?
Bro, and I go, and he, and luckily nobody saw me, but Mark Cuban saw me and goes, and I was like, all right, kept my cool there. Not really, but
Yeah.
I didn't get caught. I was like,
Do you know who you are?
and he was so cool.
Yeah.
He was so cool. He just gave me a head nod. He saw everything I did. He looked at me the whole time. So he was cool.
Mark Cuban is like that dude that got into the billionaire class that wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, bro. And he's just hanging. He's just hanging out, dog.
He was that dude. He's the OG drop shipper.
Mark Cuban is so cool, bro. I should have spent way more time talking to him when I had the chance. So then we go into Keenan's green room, and we start watching the taping. At this point, we haven't met Keenan yet. And then Justin Timberlake was the first performer, or the performer for that
Was he
night.
the host?
Yeah, him and Dakota Johnson.
Oh,
The
Madam Whip?
Yeah. She also did 50 Shades of Grey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were the host. And so we went to watch Justin Timberlake's performance. And, dude, he's doing the performance that he's doing on the tour now. And, bro, that fool was like, because y'all remember when he was doing that, like, Man in the Woods?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And yeah,
That wasn't it.
It wasn't it. And everyone was like trying to like, yo, Justin Timberlake ain't got it no more.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing him that night, like, oh, this fool's back. Like he was doing everything live, singing. It was crazy. So then while we're walking back, we turn the corner, and they're getting ready to do the weekly update, and it's a live set. And so also you could also imagine there's a team of cast members, and then there's also a team of writers as well too. So. How do I explain this for the comedians who are watching? Like, it was all great. It was a great experience, but you could definitely feel the energy of. I couldn't tell from who, but some people were like, "Oh, who are these new comedians in here?"
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't. It's
like, why are you here?
It's an intense energy. Yeah. It's. I mean, because it's competitive and rightfully so. Everyone there is great. Yeah. So it was just interesting to sit back and absorb that.
How long have you been doing comedy in Phoenix?
In Phoenix, I've been in Phoenix since 2019, but I've been doing comedy for like about 10 years now.
But so you've been doing. Michael Longfield does a weekly update, or
yeah, dude, Michael Long. No, he's on it, but he doesn't do it. It's Michael Che and then Colin Jost.
Right. But he gets on there. Now, did you ever do comedy when he was doing comedy here?
We did one show in Gilbert, together, and yeah, that was that. But I didn't really know him, so that's like we didn't even talk that night.
Sure.
But yeah, so then when Justin Timberlake's performing, we're coming back around, they're setting up for the weekly update, and then they stop you because it's like a live set, so you just got to stand in place. And then so we were right next to like Michael Che, coolest motherfucker in the world. Like I want to be that cool before I go on stage.
Yeah.
He like
He had an aura.
yeah, he did. He calmed me down. I don't even know why I was nervous. I was like, ugh. I was just watching him set up, and he was just like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah.
Like literally, like standing right next to me while they're setting everything up, and just he's so calm. Like he wasn't about to go on national television and do, 10 minutes of new or whatever it is, like 7 minutes of new material.
Like you treated it was like
Yeah, that was
walking
just
up and do
another.
whatever.
Yeah, so that was cool to watch too. And then Colin Jost on the other side was equally as like collected, but also he was kind of like more bent down and looked like in a meditative state almost.
Trying to lock in.
Yeah, kind of what I would more be expecting.
I imagine so. Like going on. Yeah, that's more
So
the natural response.
I mean, just like watch the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Like before they go out to the NBA finals.
Yo, yes.
When they're like, you see the person that's like,
Yeah.
they have the headphones on, they're just like, and then you see the person that's just like, another day.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's clock in.
100%. So that was cool to watch them go from that to doing it live, and then just hearing like the pops and hearing everything was dope. So that was one of my favorite parts. And then as we're walking back to Keenan's green room, fucking Jimmy Fallon's coming down the hallway, dog, and I'm like, hold up, bro.
Whoa.
I fist bump him. Like I was like trying to steal his powers, dog. I was like, so fist bump Jimmy Fallon, and then when we come back around, that's when we came back to the green room. That time, Keenan was in the green room, and so I met him for the first time while he was getting ready to go on and do. It was like a airport skit, and that was like a surreal moment to be sitting in his green room, kicking it, just having a good time, watching him get ready. And then like seeing he has this big old poster when he played Muhammad Ali, and it says I think it's like 15,000 sketches or some crazy number that he's been on.
Dude, I thought with Saturday Night Live you can only be on there for like a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
Keenan's been on there.
He's the longest cast member they've ever had.
Yeah. So is he like the Jackie Robinson of SNL, like breaking barriers?
I feel like I'm gonna have to ask him how he feels about that comparison. But I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, because I thought with how that whole thing worked, I thought you're only on there for a limited time.
I don't
thought
think
they
there's
have like a term. I don't
like-
think they have a term.
They don't
Yeah,
have a
like-
specific.
like-
They don't have a specific number.
Really?
No.
but
I thought that like is like a
No,
traditional thing, like you get cut. I don't know. I think I watched like the Chris Farley documentary. Maybe he was fucked up, but like they were like, "Yo, it's like your time."
Usually, a lot of people just get out when they feel it's time to get ahead.
okay.
But some people have only been there. They ain't afraid to let people go too.
Sure.
But anyway, so yeah, watching him get ready was cool, and then seeing how that was done live, like people literally like coming in, giving him like line changes,
Wow.
and then
like just right before.
he like looks at it, okay, and then
Wow.
goes back and goes out there and does his thing, and so he like that was cool, and then we got done with the show, and he popped back. Oh, at the end of the show, dog. They do the final wave off and everything.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, Dave Chappelle just pops up for the final wave off. And everyone's like, what the fuck?
Oh,
Like, he wasn't on the show. He wasn't doing anything. He was just there.
Yeah.
So he just did the wave off. And at that point, everyone's like, Chappelle's here. So it got a little crazy. And then that's when Keenan came back. And he's like, yo, let's go take pictures on the stage. And walking through SNL the first time, like with all the homies, was cool because everyone was nice. But security was definitely like, watch where you're going.
Yeah.
Don't be doing this. They're like very honest. But dude, one of the coolest moments of my life was walking through the SNL studios with Keenan.
Oh.
Like part of his entourage. I make sure I walked my fucking ass.
Yeah.
I was walking like right next to him, dog. Yeah. You see? Like, and people were just like parting ways, and that's how we got to take pictures on the stage. We got to do all that fun stuff. But then after we did that, like there's like a little mingling happening after the show, and that's where like Chappelle was hanging out. So I gotta like say what's up to him.
It's always the afters, man.
Yeah. And I would not have been there if we weren't standing next to Keenan for sure. They would not have let me stand on that side.
Well, yeah. I think that's the whole
your
point.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it, dog.
It's like when it's not your bottle.
Yeah.
You stand.
Yeah. So Michael Che was there, and in like I think it was like 20 17, I did a show with Michael Che and Cypher Sounds in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
And
That's my favorite city.
So, sounds about right.
Well,
Dallas is your favorite city?
I like going to Dallas.
I think Dallas would like you too.
They'd love me.
Yeah, I could see that.
I like Dallas too, man.
That's surprising.
Really?
Yeah, it's more of an Austin vibe here, but you know.
Dude, I was.
That's fucking
My girl and I
fair.
were seriously considering a move to Austin, and this is my third time going there. Third time I went with her, and we both kind of just consensus like, fuck this place. This is so dirty and gross. I just can't do it, man.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
What their whole thing is like Portland is like keep Austin weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like Portland in the fact that it's dirty and homeless, but it's also like you could still get away with, at least in the comedy sense, saying like things that you wouldn't be able to, necessarily do, I guess.
Yeah, I got you. Yo, what do you think about this, fool? It's so hot in Arizona. Our homeless people don't even die; they just evaporate and become spirits in Sedona.
I think that if you make it through a summer homeless here like that, if we're narrowing down who Jesus is,
We had to weed them out.
I've always thought that, bro. I'm like,
Yeah, dog. You're just right, dude. If you make it through, if you're homeless, shout out to them.
I've always.
I don't think they're seeing this, dog.
I hate that I had one of those. That was one of those like too nice moments that Adam talks. That Adam's talking about. Where I'm like, hold
Shout
on.
out to them. Shout out to the unhoused.
Yeah. Start saying,
I don't want to offend.
you're on radio now, man.
Yo, you met Keenan.
I've always thought that though. I've always thought that Jesus would be like one of the homeless people in front of Circle K. That like, because people are always so like, especially people who are like maybe conservative, go to church, like we do this is like we're a God-fearing family, blah, blah, blah. They would spit on like a homeless person, like get a job, but that would be Jesus.
Yeah, true. Gotcha.
Like as a test.
And then, that's the thing. That's like a thing, right? Like, you never know who the devil's going to be, or you never know who. Blah, blah, blah.
That's what I.
My thing is, though, I can't give money to everybody.
Oh yeah. Just.
So I used to believe that too. I used to feel that strong. But then what if it's like the one person I don't give money to is Jesus?
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that you don't have to give him money. You
Okay,
just
give him blessings?
Don't be a
don't judge
dick. Don't be a dick, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't be an asshole. Don't be like, ugh.
Yeah, like you don't think he
your
already
homeless ass.
you don't think he already knows what your bank account looks like?
No, but I'm just saying, dog.
He knows if he's part of God, he knows everything. He knows what your bank account looks like.
Yeah. Okay. So then he's gonna be like, okay, that's good. That's good. You're right.
Yeah.
So if it's
Ooh,
God,
got him.
Yeah. Just
I used to wait till I did a shitty thing, and then I would like,
Okay.
I'm like, let me fix my.
So
that's Catholic.
So you
that's
want
Catholic.
Yeah. So next time a homeless person asks me for money and I don't have it, I'm like, you know what? You know what's going on.
Start pouring a water bottle and be like, walk on this.
Because if you can, I'll go into red for both
Turn
of us.
this into a beatbox. I swear to God.
Oh man, I almost dropped my microphone because I was going to hold it up. That's so funny.
That's the remix of the Bible. Like, yeah, he turned water into a beatbox.
To a beatbox.
That's how I know he black.
Black women don't drink beatboxes, do they?
No, but they beatbox.
Shut up.
I think like the new age Jesus would probably turn that shit into like sweet tea or what is it, like twisted tea?
Twisted.
So so anyway, back at Saturday Night Live. And so after that, after we take the pictures, we got to go to the after party. And I didn't understand everyone kept talking about the dinner after party of Saturday Night Live, and I didn't understand like the politics behind it.
Oh.
I thought we were just gonna get some free food and some free drinks and shit.
That's what I would thought.
That's what I was there for, dog.
Yeah, that's what I would have went there for too.
And we get to sit at Keenan's table, and like when you're sitting at Keenan's table, that's when everyone comes and talks to you and shit. So people were just like walking up, and they're like, "What are you?
What are you here for?"
Yeah, obviously looking at me like, "What are you doing here?"
Right.
And that's when I got a chance to talk to Michael Che and remind him about the show in Dallas. And at that time, he was talking to Dave Chappelle. So I was like, "All right, here's my one chance to kind of like smooch in and be like, all right." So that's how I break in the conversation. I went and talked to Che, and he was like, "Oh yeah, super dope." At least he acted like he remembered. I don't know if he did or not. But he was nice and he did. And for like 2 seconds, I looked and I saw Dave Chappelle watching us talk.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
That's
and
trippy.
So, yeah, instantly, of course, when I saw him kind of like interested, I was like, can I get a picture? Right away, dog. I was like, bro, I'm sorry, dog. I did it. And Chappelle the vibe was right.
You know what?
And I got it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the best way to approach it is like, bro, do you want a picture or something? or just like, fine, I'll take a picture with you.
That might have worked on that one. But so we go to take the picture, and then when Michael Che was going to walk away, and I was like, yo, Mike, get in this picture too. And then Dave Chappelle just goes, come on, Michael. And then the rest of the night, he just kept going, Marco. So that was like my one, Marco was my Dave Chappelle story and encounter, and that was Dave Chappelle for me, which is dope. Yeah, Marco. He just kept walking around saying that.
Fucking with him.
And then I did start feeling myself in that encounter, and I circled back to ask for a video, and the security was like, yo.
Chill.
You're doing too much now.
Yeah, act like you've been here before.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my moment of humbleness. And then, what happened after that, bro? After that, then we went to another party with Keenan, and then he had the bottle section. So that was definitely, I was like a little bottle thought on that one. We were in some speakeasy in New York, dog, and that's where I met Michael Longfellow.
Oh, dope.
And shout out Longfellow. He's dope. He puts on for the city. He loves Arizona, and
if it's hard not to love Arizona.
It's a great.
I love Phoenix. It's just like when people are like, "How do you like it here?" I'm like, "It's good sometimes." That's just the weather. Other than that, man, I love it here.
Yeah, the weather. Yeah, once you learn how to navigate through that, it's good.
Stay indoors.
Mm-hmm.
I have sensitive skin.
We all got the AZ fit on today too.
Yeah.
Shorts above the knee.
Shorts above the knee, dog.
I'm literally allergic to the sun.
I never really thought I'd be a shorts clearly above the knee guy.
Me neither.
But dude,
they're nice, man. I remember I bought my first pair of shorts from Costco. They were the French Terry shorts. They were Champion brand, and they were about right here.
What the fuck is French Terry?
Exactly. But I liked them.
That sounds like another name. That sounds like another alias for Hulk Hogan.
French Terry.
French Terry.
Chocolate blue.
And yes.
Okay, so now you did the SNL thing, and then I've also seen that you were doing some shows with Gabriel Iglesias, who seems like a
fluffy.
You know how comedy is like. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. Gabriel Iglesias is like man. He might be top 10 as far as ticket sales go. Like as far as most beloved of all time.
Bro.
Whether you personally like his comedy or not, like. You can't deny. Like the dude sold out Dodger Stadium.
Bro, it's 55,000.
Yeah, like
he turned it over. He turned it in 2 shows in one night.
Yeah.
That's
So like, I mean, you're working with someone that's top 10 all time. If we look at it that way, Drake more records than the Beatles. More hits than the Beatles. So it's like you're in that, and then you got to do that in your hometown, right?
Yeah.
So how did that feel? And because I could imagine, me going back to my hometown and doing something like that would be fantastic.
It was that was a dream come true, and that was also a byproduct of the Keenan Thompson connection.
Okay.
And like that was when I got selected for the Keenan Presents showcase, part of it was like when we're talking at the after party, is like, how can we help you, or what can you do? And besides putting me on a festival in Vegas that I did for them. The only thing I wanted to do that, like, it's been like a 10-year goal for me is to get on that stage with Fluffy in my hometown. And so I told Keenan that, and he was like, well, I know him, I don't have direct contact with him, but if you get in touch, like, we'll do whatever we need to do to vouch.
That's dope.
So then we did a little quick video, me and Keenan, and he's like, come on, Gabe, let him get on. He basically vouched for me in the video. And then I had some homies who, like, worked with him before, my homie Ken Flores. And then I met
you're tapped in with the Latino comedy scene.
I'm up in the mix.
I got on. I did a show in Dallas with your guy Polar Bear.
That's my guy. Yeah, John Polar Bear Gonzalez.
I dropped your name. I was like, when we were in Dallas.
Oh really?
Oh, dude, funniest. Dallas is a funny story, but yeah, we were doing some shows with Neil Nanda, and then our flight was at like 11:30 at night on a Friday.
Gross.
Right.
Wow.
And I was like, I messaged him like a couple weeks. I was like, yo, like, guest spot? Like, I know, like, looks like we have some people in common. I dropped your name. And he was like, sure, man. He was very cool.
Goldberg's the dopest.
Very cool dude.
Yeah, he's a comedian's comedian, and talk about somebody who has like a beloved audience as well.
Oh, he's a heart of gold, dude. He, and hope he gets through whatever he's going through. But he, dude, my phone broke on the trip. I couldn't even get to the fucking airport. And the dude, he paid for my Uber and everything.
Damn! Shout out John Paul Gonzalez. Dog.
Yeah, man. He saved me on that one. I mean, I did crush.
Oh yeah, of course you did.
But it was that was just funny. Like, I know you're tapped in. I was talking to her about that. I was like, there's just certain niches of comedy that like Anthony's very tapped in with this, and I was like, I think what makes a good show is like, you don't, like, if you're headlining a show, you don't want to do all the same type of people that have the same type of humor. You want to mix it up. Like when I did your show, it was a good mix of,
yeah, man.
Like you had Densmore on there, you had Hadlock, you had Daniel, Andrew, me. Dude, I think the funniest moment for me at that show was I was in the green room. I think you were up on stage. I was in the green room, and Andrew and Daniel were going back and forth about like Andrew's Jordans. And I was just sitting there by myself, like, and I just stopped him and I was like, Andrew, I don't care what anyone says. Those Jordans look real. Crushed.
There's very few things better than crushing in the green room.
I
was trying to explain that to some of the homies. There's like the on-stage performance, and then there's a green room hang.
That's way more.
And you could, it's almost you could perform bad on the show.
Yeah.
Save yourself on a hang. Also, vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it go down each way. So, fuck. So, shout out Ken Flores. I performed with him, Renee Vaca, Alfred Robles.
Have you done Chingo Bling?
Yeah, Chingo's my homie. So,
I was just talking about this before you got here. I was featuring at the El Paso comic strip like last year, and the host just kept going up, and he was like, "And don't forget, guys, Chingo Bling will be here next week." And I was like, "Who the fuck is Chingo Bling?"
Hell yeah, dog.
And then I'm like, "Do you know who Chingo Bling is?" "Yeah, you don't know who that is?" I'm like,
Chingo Bling, dog, great overall entertainer, like a real I don't think dude, he does everything.
Does
everything, bro. He's so funny.
He has a food truck that's
some of those people
huge
you
out
just
there.
look at, you're like, bro, he's so talented in whatever he does. And
comics are like barbers, man.
Yeah,
a lot of times, like.
So I mean, Chingo, dog. He did a lot of amazing comic, bro. And his new material that he's been working on is fucking super funny. So if you ever have a chance to go see him, go watch Chingo Bling. But he's also like, bro, he has so much, he's such a good music artist as well too. Yeah. It's mind blowing, dog. Yeah. He could just come, he's so entertaining, and shout out Chingo Bling. I'm done glazing him now. But working with Ken, working with Alfred, and working with Renee specifically, they had all done a Fluffy show, and shout out to Fluffy, shout out to Fluffy, bro. He put Ken on in the United Center in Chicago.
Wow.
And brought him out, and
that's where Michael Jordan played.
Yeah. And
okay,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
true.
for the listeners, I don't.
That's where is there any other facts about the United Center? I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know much else. That's where Derrick Rose played.
Derrick Rose, yeah.
There you go.
Rose, man, shout out, yeah.
Michael Dunleavy Jr.
Michael Dunleavy
Kurt
Jr.
Heinrich.
Ooh, Steve
Rock
Kerr.
Chalk Jayhawk.
Heinrich?
Guys, we're getting off topic here.
Kurt Heinrich's he's a Kansas guy?
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
Nice.
Beat my Ducks.
Yo, freaking dude, Kansas Jayhawk basketball is crazy.
Dude, well, I played NAIA basketball, and Division I, Division II is whatever, but then NAIA is kind of this hidden division.
Skip 3.
Yeah, that's you don't get athletic scholarships.
Yeah, no, but
the NAIA, dude, it's just hidden gem, but most of it's in the Midwest, and these people are crazy about basketball. Man.
Oh yeah, bro, a bunch of freaking shooters with long hair.
Yeah, dude. Man, if these guys were 4 inches taller, they would beat these D1 teams. I swear, through the power of friendship and teamwork. Dude.
Exactly, dog. Run the offense, motion,
bro.
Trust in the offense,
yes,
trust
bro.
in the system,
yes.
Playing together.
Nobody's bigger than anyone else.
If you beat him to the spot and take the charge for the team,
dude. like
shit.
they live and breathe basketball. It's funny because like you look at basketball as like this urban sport that like, you know, the kids from the inner city are good at. But like there's these other people in the Midwest that are fucking crazy about basketball that are like when I would play AAU, we would get crushed by these all white teams from like Idaho or somewhere in the Midwest. It was just like.
Are you familiar with Resball?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Resball, dog.
I did a city league a couple months ago in Scottsdale. Dude, realized I haven't done cardio in like 8 years. I suck, dude.
Basketball, dude, that's you, dog.
But we
Basketball.
you play these teams, and in rec league, there's these teams they've been playing together for years. They're setting back screens, they're setting off ball screens.
Yeah.
They're moving without the ball.
That's me getting screened up.
And yeah, dude, our first game was against this team from the res, dude, and they probably beat us by 40.
Yeah, bro.
They were
growing up in New Mexico. A lot of playing AAU basketball in New Mexico. We played a lot against like a lot of Resball teams.
Yeah.
Bro, these fools, I remember we were like 12. These fools were like yanking from the volleyball line, dog.
Yeah. Dudes, the people who love basketball the most are all under 6 feet. They just love it, dude. My homie was he's a basketball trainer, and his biggest clientele in Oregon was a city called Madras. It's right outside like Bend and Redmond. It's like a huge reservation town. Bro, like 200 kids show up for this camp. Like he's like, that's my money. Like that's where I make my money is on the reservation. But I don't know. They love basketball.
You said it sounded not good.
Yeah, I didn't like the way you said that. I got a little.
You got a little. I don't know, but you know what? It's right. It's a good spirit. It's the way
he
we
lost
interpret it. It's us. It's not you. It's us.
Yeah,
it's not just. It's us. It's us in our Arizona mindset.
Yeah. he put it back in the slots.
Not how you look.
He put it back in the slots, bro.
Oh man.
Like they were playing at 21, but they got a different game at 21.
Oh man, dude. Oh. So after I got done performing with Ken,
Ken Flores 3000.
Yeah, Ken Flores 300.
Okay.
After we got done doing those shows, so the Keenan video that I made was in January, the end of January. I had this video the whole time, but I was like, I don't feel comfortable. I just felt.
Did you post it yet?
I didn't post it until April. It was like April, the day before the Keenan Festival in Vegas, like April 25th.
I didn't. Did I see it? I don't know if I saw it.
So
or I forgot about it.
No, like
I mean, he knows what he did.
Right. No.
The algorithms be wild. Bro.
That speaks to another thing that because I'd be deep in the trenches on that. It's like the biggest thing you can do is just repost stuff like that's already worked, or try something that like maybe you didn't post at the right time. Maybe you're missing something from it. Because the dude was like 99% of the people that follow you either one, don't see what you posted, or B, forget what you posted. I was like, shit, I might have liked it because I usually like all your stuff, but I don't always see it.
Sometimes I'll be like, y'all ever just like wake up in the morning and like look at Instagram from your bed and not see shit, but us a homie.
Yeah.
So start liking stuff.
Yeah,
I be doing that all the time too. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So I'm not offended that you didn't see it or keep up with that. It's cool though, but you knew about it, so it's good. We're here.
Well, I know about your Keenan experience, but I didn't know like you're this big dramatic video.
Yeah, dude. It was. So I posted the photo I had of me and Fluffy from like when I was in San Antonio. We did a radio interview together. So
okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
So I posted that one, and I was like, "Yo," I was like, "Here we go. Here's the first." Yeah. I posted that, and then
dip your toe in the water.
Yeah, I was supposed to that, and it was like a carousel post. I did that one, and then I did the video as well too. I just gotta fucking look at it. Sorry, guys. So yeah, let's see. Yeah. So it was this. I did a carousel post, and that was the video of me and Keenan.
That's dope.
So I posted that video and I told the homies, I was like, yo, tag Fluffy.
Yeah.
And at first, dog, it started slow. I was like, oh shit, this is just gonna be the corniest thing of my life.
Yeah, because if you only get like 3 tags,
yeah, dude, if you only get like 3 tags, I'm like, oh fuck,
I feel
dog.
weird. What if I delete it?
Yeah, so there's
yeah, dog.
There's bombing on stage and there's bombing on social media.
Oh man,
Did you contemplate deleting it?
Dude. Like,
but the thing is, if you're bombing on social media, that means nobody saw it already. So you just
But or you hope, or sometimes or you hope. But sometimes you see some homies, you're like, ooh,
You're like, ooh, cringe.
Yeah. I didn't want to cringe homies up, dog. And luckily enough,
hell yeah, no, that's
people fucking ran it up, and it went.
That's more in your head.
No,
than
you have
anything,
a. So that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. You have a. I don't know. I think you're such a likable guy that it's. I can't be mean to you, dude. Like, never given me a reason to be mean to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And
He wanted to bully you so bad.
No, I don't, dude. I don't like to be mean. Sometimes people deserve it, and I'm like, it doesn't. It's not like I think righteously in my head you deserve it. It just comes out.
Yeah, like sometimes you can't control. You can't control.
Oh, dude, I cook. Like when somebody's.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like it's just.
You don't match energies. You maximize energies. Yeah, is what you do.
So that was what I wanted to talk about too. Is another really cool thing you did is with your comedy album.
Oh yeah,
on iTunes, because it reminds me of this is not a comparison, but like I was a best-selling author at one point on Amazon. Similar thing, pushing it out. And I remember when I was starting the podcast, it was like, if you can get a certain amount of downloads and subscriptions within a certain amount of time, then you can bump yourself up to the top of the charts. And I think that's kind of what you did successfully.
Thank you, bro. And that's cool you brought that up because a week, or I'm not sure when this is coming out, but June 21st is going to be the 1-year anniversary of that EP.
Yeah, dude.
So,
no, that was dope.
So yeah, that was kind of something that, that kind of like gave me a good little pop within like the comedy audio side of the industry.
Interesting.
And people who pay attention to those charts.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
and people like
put you on the radar.
Yeah, it did in a certain way where I think the same week I dropped, Matt Rife put his crowd work special up on there. And then the real competition I had was with he's a puppeteer, I guess. His name is Randy Feltface. He's purple. He has like a purple thing. He's like from the UK.
Really?
And he dropped. So when I put out my EP on iTunes, it went #1 the first night, which was a blessing. And I was like, oh okay, Matt Rife definitely gonna pass it. And then I saw that Randy Feltface had his like pre-orders ready. I was like, oh, that's just gonna blow mine out. So it was cool. It was a one-night thing. And then when Feltface dropped, he went to #2, and I stayed at #1.
Whoa!
And that's when I was like, oh, this is something. This is cool. So
Feltface, how about fuckface?
Right away, did you guys see me? I was trying not to be too nice right away. I was instantly going for an apology. I was like, Feltface, we didn't mean it. It's just jokes, but no. Okay, you know what? Yeah, let it ride. Try not to be too nice, dude.
Let me do the talking.
The anger translator.
That's what had to be. Oh, that's
funny.
What
the homies are for,
bro. He ain't gonna say it because he's too nice, but stay out of our territory.
Exactly. So that was cool, bro, and it connected me with some industry people in regards to like shout out to the Laugh After Dark production team out of Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they saw the release and everything, so that was cool. And if you're watching this, go download A Rat's Tale, available on all digital platforms.
I just think, how long was it? Was it like 6 minutes?
It was 7. Oh, like 7 minutes.
Yeah. It was like short. I was like, interesting. I was just, I'm a student of the game. So I was watching. I was like, that's dope. I can appreciate that from a marketer standpoint. And I think that's dope that, you have to use grassroots on that because it's not like you're pulling out ads and really pushing it like that, or you don't have 1 million followers, so you don't need 1 million followers. You need just like the followers that follow you to really fuck with you.
Exactly.
That's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
People are always they're looking at the metrics and the numbers. I got a decent amount of followers, but not fucking diehards.
I'm a big Nipsey Hussle person, and Nipsey Hussle had his Proud to Pay campaign for his Crenshaw album, where he did it was $100 an album, and people were like, "Yo, that's crazy," but he was like, "If I move 1,000 units, versus trying to sell, versus trying to reach the masses and do 1 million, if I focus on 1,000 people that really love me."
No, that's the
then
real
they're
way
gonna
to do
buy
it.
And then so that's like something I kind of looked at and used for a lot of inspiration when putting out the EP. So Yeah, but 100% everything you're saying is accurate and correct. So yeah.
Well, because I've tried doing that stuff for myself too, so I recognize it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Getting it on the streaming platforms was something harder than I anticipated. Even with like, I went through TuneCore, which was a pretty cool distribution site.
That's used for music a lot. That's
Yeah.
funny. I didn't know that you
And
could
so like
cross
for
over.
like one thing, like man, it took me forever to get like the picture for iTunes right. Like I had to do like I don't even know.
Oh
how-
yeah, because you have to have the correct resolution.
Correct resolution.
And,
3,000 by
dimensions.
3,000.
But
Yep.
it wouldn't like accept it. We did it so many
'Cause it's
different
too big.
times for whatever reason.
Yeah, so you have to
And
condense
then,
it. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the Spotify charts, but they don't have comedy as a genre in the United States. So the album's up on Spotify as well too, but it's under like spoken word is what Spotify.
Dude,
told me.
that's a fucking
closest
that's
thing.
a fucking term that makes me laugh every time. I'm like, what the? I'm like, what the fuck else is word?
That's like when my girlfriend says, "Yeah, I was just thinking out loud." I'm like, "That's called talking."
What the fuck, dude?
What are you talking about?
First time hitting the blunt. I think I'm doing spoken word. What?
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Bro, that's like literally reinventing the wheel. What if we got?
Oh, that's so funny.
No word for that already.
Oh, dude, those are two good jokes delivered right in my face.
Man.
That was great. Man, that was beautiful. Those are such good jokes. I forgot what we were talking about. Thank you.
Your comedy album.
Oh yeah, so the EP. So yeah, 1 year out, and yeah, shout out to everyone who downloaded it. Go stream it up.
So whatever happened with you remember that video that we had? We were at your thing at the Tempe Improv,
Yeah, dude.
and we interviewed all the people on the show, and it's like, I don't know, what was that? What was that?
I don't. What happened to it? Or
Like what was that whole thing? Like it was your
that
New
show?
Mexicans only. I know you had like film there.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to shoot a special.
For that was my actually what that was I was trying to do two things. One, you know, growing up in New Mexico at that time, we have two comedy clubs now, another one on the way. But we didn't have any comedy clubs.
Sure.
So the only closest one we had that was like of any
That's
notoriety.
probably why is that why you had to get out?
Not. Yeah, I guess to pursue comedy. Eventually, kind of like had to, but it's, again, the way you say it makes it seem like
Well, like okay, like I left, like
You
I
never want a bad tint to anything.
Well, like,
And,
I left,
You're like,
like-
man, if I answer it the right way, it's still gonna seem like how he put it.
well, like I can relate because like
Is this a loaded question? It's not, but it's just the way you
can-
said it.
I get that. I can relate because like the city I left, we had one comedy club, and you know how politics are. It's like I'm not getting spots
Got
on
it.
here, and it's like, but there's other reasons why I'm leaving too, for sure. But like that was the biggest one. Was like
Yeah.
for comedy.
Yep, 100%. So I get that. And see, look at that. That sounds look at this. That sounds more likable.
Yeah.
Less theatric, but you know, more likable. So for that, also, yeah, I was trying to record. That was the first or second take of the EP.
Okay.
And so then, and then on what I want to do also too is like being that like we never had a comedy club in New Mexico. I wanted just to come bring my New Mexico homies to come get on the world famous Improv, dog. It's a big stage.
Yeah.
So that's.
I remember when I moved here, like my first week, I still have it saved on like a Snapchat memory. Is I went
Oh, yeah, you showed me this video before.
and I drove in front of the Tempe Improv, and I was like, I'm gonna perform here.
Yep.
I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then I got on a show randomly. You know, got booked a dude. I met a dude in L.A. at a show, and he was like, "Dude, you were really good. This audience kind of sucks." Blah, 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 blah. And his name was Eric Schwartz, and he like ended up.
Eric Schwartz is a man, bro.
Yo, he's so talented.
Oh yeah, that's another person like Chingo. Similar, like they.
Dude,
Insane.
so
Everything that they
talented,
can
man.
do, yeah.
I think he hates me.
Yeah, I think he does too.
Oh,
because
he-
like
that was quick.
well, because you know I'm unfiltered. I was just like,
oh no.
oh, I was just like, I was like, he's on the episode, and I was like, how old are you? He's like, wow, that's a great fucking question. And then like I seen him in the green room like at the show, and I was like, no, but like how old are you? And he was like 48, and I swear to Christ, when he told me he was 48, I swear to Christ, I saw like all the liver spots after that. Like I was like, oh, that makes sense, dude. I'm starting to see your liver spot. And I just know I offended the fuck out of him.
Yeah, that sounded pretty offensive.
Yeah. But like it was in like I didn't mean
You were just riffing, huh? It just
not even riffing, just like being like
sometimes
being a friend.
Sometimes homies don't pick up what you're putting down.
Right.
And that's when it goes left.
I was like, But like he put me on for his show at the.
Don't you hate when that happens?
I'm just used to it, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't like. I actually am pretty sensitive in the fact I'm like, I hope I didn't like upset them, but like also I'm just being like genuine, you know. So like I don't feel bad for
it's
how
the intention behind it. You know your intention. So
yeah, there's not, you know, obviously intentions and what happens is not the same thing. But I was like, I'm not. You know, Pete Carroll decided to throw the ball on the 1 yard line. Got to win the next game. You know,
there it is.
Everyone could say that was the stupidest fucking move.
Yeah.
You know, but I was just, you know.
And, you know, anybody could say anytime you're comparing yourself to Super Bowl Pete Carroll,
Dude.
not a good thing.
Dude.
But, you know.
That's my team, right?
Yeah.
I remember watching that game, like thinking, like, I was just pouring the Skittles in my hand, like, another Super Bowl. And
Do you
like,
think that, like.
They threw that pick. Man, I've never been sick to my stomach from watching. I think that is what retired me from caring about sports.
That makes sense. 4 opportunities, right? 4, it was the first down. I think they threw that ball.
Yeah,
away.
Lynch almost scored. They stopped him like the half-yard line.
And then
They
that's
did
crazy.
that. And then what? They had the best defense in the league and would have had like 20 seconds on the clock to stop the Patriots. They
Maybe
would've.
the universe just didn't want
The Seahawks owned the Patriots. They owned Tom Brady.
Maybe there's higher ups that just didn't want us to see Marshawn Lynch being the hero that he is.
I could see that.
Something like that.
I could see that.
Maybe something like that because
Player call came down.
Because
like, don't
because you see that.
Yes.
There's a lot of.
It's like, how do you not give him that doesn't make
There's a
sense.
lot
it
of.
doesn't make sense. He says it to this day. He's
There's
like,
a lot of.
How do you not give me?
You know, when it comes to
fucking ball?
you know, everyone has their opinions now when it comes to sports betting because you're like, well, that's my money on this shit. You know, like that it means something to me now. That's why I've got back into sports was betting. But you see the stuff about like rigging of games or like refs doing things. I mean, it literally happened in the NBA. But the fact that these organizations are labeled as entertainment, like same as the WWE.
Yeah.
Like they're not, and it's not like it's directly rigged, but like the NBA will send down, you know, rules like example. I think if you ever watched the Tim Donaghy documentary, he was talking about the LA Lakers sent
That's your hero?
Yeah, they sent in film and they're like, here's 25 plays of Kobe getting fouled. And so he's like, I loved betting on Kobe because I knew if anyone breathed on him, it was going to be a foul. So like I knew that this is what was going to happen. Or like when Jordan was playing, like there's a certain move, you know, when you do this with your elbows, like they're like, oh yeah, but don't call that on Jordan. You call that on this guy. You call that on Kurt Rambis. You don't call that on Jordan. And that's just kind of like it's set up in a way to where you could watch the NBA now. Like Luka Doncic gets the stupidest foul calls all the time.
Yeah,
and
you have like a good European appeal.
And like
marketable.
if you do bet and you're paying attention to the spread and stuff, you're like, spread was 7.5 points. God, they lost by 7. Like,
But if you're betting on the other side of that, those are great calls.
for sure. But like that's a coin flip at that point, you know, betting on that stuff. So and there's NBA players that are on podcasts now. Gilbert Arenas, if you ever watch like clips of him talking about it, and like Rasheed Wallace talking about it.
Oh yeah.
They're just like when like the you know, they're looking at where the house money is, and it's like it would benefit us if it hit the over tonight. It's like we're gonna call a lot of fouls tonight.
Yeah.
On role players because we know the star players are going to fill it up.
Gilbert Arenas talked about that. He goes,
yeah,
it made more sense for the other team to win that night. He goes, so we knew we were in for a rough one. Didn't mean that we couldn't win.
I think it
just meant that the scales were tipped in their favor.
Who's a dude? He's a player for the Blazers. His name's Evan. He played for Ohio State. Evan Turner.
Evan Turner.
I think it was Evan Turner talking about that. And he's like, I think it was when he was on Philly, maybe, and he was like. It was a game 7. Like, we got this. And like, veterans come in. They're like, yo, we have to win by 15 to win by 1 tonight. Mm-hmm. Like, so you have to. And so you hear players talk about it. So it's not out of the possibility at all. And now you're hearing about players betting on sports more and more. Shohei Ohtani got away with it because he's Shohei Ohtani. But, like, another dude from the Padres just got pinched, and he's banned for life.
Damn.
You know, Jonte Porter got pinched. Like he's not.
Now it's time to do the obligatory. Pete Rose needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, dude. Right.
Dude,
Absolutely.
He wasn't even betting. I think he. I don't.
He's been on his own team.
I think so. Yeah.
That's what's up. No, that's
win.
down. That's down.
But yeah,
I think
gambling.
it was like the most innocent
Gambling.
betting.
Gambling is the same. Is treated the same as weed now, where it's like most states legal, but like back in the day, Schedule I. Narcotic. This guy's a fucking animal. He needs to be locked up.
Yo, yeah. If Reggie Bush got his Heisman Trophy back, Pete Rose should get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Especially if it was after the Ohtani stuff. That was crazy. He just had everyone needs to fall home like that.
But that's like he's too important to this dying sport that we can't do this. Like,
Dude, I think that's the only reason like Puerto Rico's still in the United States, dog. So we have like American baseball players.
Yeah. Puerto
Rico, the Dominican Republic, they're holding us down because you're right, bro. The Japanese are on their way, dog, and they are going to.
Dude, the Asians can ball.
Yeah.
Bro.
Asians can hoop.
Dude, they come from.
But if you've ever been to the casino, you know who's there. Mm-hmm. You know who's there, man.
So Ken Flores, right? What we're not gonna do is defend every group of people today, okay?
We haven't gotten to the Jews yet.
See, I was trying to. I shouldn't have even said it.
You shouldn't have done it.
I shouldn't have brought it up because now he has a new goal.
You think you have this idea of who I am. Maybe I made you think
Why are you
it was
talking like
easy.
Morpheus, dog?
I love that Michael Jordan thing. Maybe I made you think it was easy. Maybe I made you think.
He's just sitting there. Michael Jordan looks like he's just always on the verge of like a little too much.
Cardiac arrest.
Well, no, see, Michael Jordan, same with Kobe Bryant, is they are/were sociopaths. They just channeled it to basketball.
Oh, I'm not talking about like the playing aspect about it. I'm talking like when you see him in those interviews now, he always has like those cheese eyes on him.
I'm telling you, he's a sociopath.
And he always
But he
has a
channeled it into
fat ass.
basketball.
Somebody said he had them duck sauce eyes.
instead of
That boy looks zooted.
instead of butchering people, he was like, I'm gonna do it in basketball. That's where they channeled it. And that's where sports can be healthy. But like it would probably be not fun a lot of time being those guys' teammates. Because like other guys are just like, bro, I'm 7'1", like I'm just here because I'm 7'1" and I'm kind of nice, but like I like to live my life too. Like what the like
Shout out Bill Cartwright.
yeah, like Kobe, and I don't blame Kobe for that. Like they're like, why don't you pass it more? It's like I'm here earlier than everybody else, and I'm staying later, getting up all these shots. Like, why should I pass you the ball? Like that's a good point. That's a very good point. You know what? Do what you got to do, man.
My favorite thing are those Kobe stories, where they're like talking about Kobe in the Olympics. He's like, yeah, he ran right through Pau Gasol's chest. And everyone's like, he came and set the tempo. Where they're like, there's all those like famous Kobe stories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I wish I had one of those.
dude. It was funny with Kobe, man. I hated Kobe because I'm a Trailblazers guy.
Yeah.
And like that ruined my
Oh, he
childhood.
he was.
Well, he didn't. I mean, beat us in Game 7. It was a 3-3.
That was the he crossed Pippen through the
It
lob.
wasn't like what Luka did to Phoenix. It wasn't like that bad.
Nah, what Luka did to Phoenix was bad, but what Giannis did to Phoenix was worse.
Oh my god.
See, look at that. You guys feel, oh god, that was bad.
Have you watched the Giannis documentary on Prime?
Nah, he's amazing.
Have you watched that on Prime?
No, I haven't.
Dude, the Giannis documentary is really good.
Yeah, Giannis is great. He's so funny. He's so cool. He's so like, dude. I was hosting when the Suns played the Bucks in the finals. I was hosting at Copper Blues in downtown Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
And
It's like right across the street.
oh yeah, it was a party, dog. It was a
Yeah.
party, bro. Everyone
That's
was
sick.
hyped.
Don't you hate when
Oh, it was so fun. And then that fast break happened, and I saw Drew Holiday get the ball, and I saw Giannis running down on the TV. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, when
he
Booker
had-
coughed it up.
Yep. And,
Oh my fucking god,
And
that was the most heartbreaking
dude,
moment.
that dunk he threw down, you could feel all the energy of the whole like city just go.
We knew
away.
it was over at that point.
Yeah,
so.
dude. It was. Oh, you all sad or what?
I gotta go pee.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, dude, I didn't have nothing else after that.
Damn.
You were like that good?
Oh, yeah, you want a little bit of this?
Yeah, a little bit of
Sure.
that.
I didn't know if you were too famous for
Yo,
it.
bro, nah. Yo, where do you get your nails done at?
A girl.
Oh, nice. I gotta go get a fucking.
My girl just cleans up my nails. This is like our little activity.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I've
Little bonding.
been doing yoga lately.
Dude, I want to fuck with yoga.
Yoga's
I gotta
good.
get more fit though.
But yoga's a good way to get into everything because You could just lay there if you need to.
Do you do hot yoga?
The room's pretty hot. It's like
They set it at a certain temperature,
They keep it like at 90, or you could just go and they'll keep it like at a regular temp.
Yeah, but you do hot yoga.
I dabble sometimes.
Okay, sorry.
Not always on yoga.
What, don't you got a sour side?
Sometimes you just sweating walking from the car to the gym.
Yeah.
But I don't think you hear the piss. No. But with yoga, bro, you gotta have good feet, dog.
Oh,
and bro,
do you have flat feet?
No, I mean I got
flat feet.
My feet are pretty flat, but they're not like ugly, but they were nasty, bro.
I didn't say they were ugly. I just
No,
said
well,
when
I'm
they're
saying,
flat. You immediately got self.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Let me tell you about what happened, dog. Let me tell you what happened, dog. I was at yoga day 2, struggling, dog, and I looked down at my patas. I was like, oh no, they gross. Fucking cinder blocks on the bottom. It's not. I didn't lotion them up at least before, dog. Nails all long and stuff. Ratcheted feet, because then there's people in front of you, kind of like jail. There's people in front and people in the back of you. So I'm just trying to like do yoga poses, but make sure my toes are hitting at the same time. Oh, bro. So I have to go get what is it? Is it a manicure, pedicure? What's the one on the feet?
Pedicure.
Pedicure.
Yeah.
So I gotta get me a pedicure, and that's why I was inquiring about your nails.
Yeah, no. Manicures and pedicures are my shit though. But I have beautiful nails.
Oh, you paint your nails too still?
Yeah.
That's so good.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Onker.
It's not about the nails. It's about sending a message.
I know. Philip Jewell asked me that about my nails too, and then I saw the back of his head and I was like, "That's disgusting."
Man,
Did you ever ask me about anything aesthetic?
Shout out Phil Jewell, man, my barber, but he fucked me up this last time.
Messed your shit up or what?
And I don't know if it was him or it's just the fact that I'm 30 now.
That's a little bit of both. Oh,
Yeah.
brother, sorry.
You know, no, I get it because I like when I was in high school, I used to get like the fade, like maybe like a 1 or 2 on top, but like a lineup and like a bald fade, and then like he cut me up and he like gave me the mirror and I looked at him, man. I've never been so just.
Oh, dude, that's tough.
Because like it was, my hairline was like back far, and I was like, I've had like my barber in the past tell me like, oh, it's kind of difficult to do your like lineup just 'cause I have a scar right here on my head and shit, and but once you know somebody's hair, you know they know what they're doing. So I was like, man. You know it's bad when you wear a hat out of the barbershop.
Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
So and it still hasn't grown back since. It's been like 2 months.
It's always tough when life hits you like that, right? It's always a good realization.
Yeah. Well, dude,
Humbling.
like personally,
You know what?
Personally, I like keeping it short because it's harder to maintain. But you know how many guys it hit me later on in life? Like I used to always keep my hair short. So many guys would just hold on to this shitty hair, like they have nothing up here and the hair back here. I'm like, why are you even keeping it?
I can't judge, dog. I had a rat tail for a long time. So.
Yeah. No, dude, I know why you wear a hat all the time.
Yeah, for sure, dog. So.
And so, like, but I was like, maybe there's something to this. Like, I personally don't. It's weird. I don't necessarily like having long hair or even looking at myself like how I look. But I know that the perception it looks better. But I actually like having it short.
Sounds like you don't.
I did.
What do you
bro.
mean you know by perception that you don't, but you...
Long hair, dude. Because like, you know how many guys are like so depressed about not having hair, or like they keep this. They have no hair right here, and they just keep this thing.
That's
I'm
tough,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, why?
You gotta have this,
and I'm like, there's some element of denial there. There's some element of like, I gotta keep what's left. And I was like, oh, I actually have a gift. I still have like long hair. Like,
yeah, bro.
That's a good gift to have, and it it plays better for me. I feel like it made me almost a better comedian cutting my hair because now people couldn't judge me as good looking.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn.
Shut up, dude.
That breakthrough, I think, is really...
oh, dude, you
I
can't.
think that realization
That's gone. That's off the table.
I thought that you were
The
laughing.
audience isn't looking up and being like, man...
I look like a
It's a
6'5".
really good looking guy. I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah, they're not thinking about fucking you no more, right?
No, it's the
probably hard,
opposite. It's
Think about
It's
killing
no,
it?
it's the opposite. Like an example, last summer, you remember when I did my little shows in Portland? I got put on another show. Dude, I'm telling you, I was murdering this room. But there was this group of people throughout the room that was like Portland, like lesbian, liberal type people. Did just for the first 10 minutes of my set, man, had their arms folded just like this, just
that's tough.
just because like
because of how good looking you were.
right, like well, straight white male and happened to be attractive, and so
Just so happened.
and 6'5". I didn't know I was being filmed, but that's another reason why I left Portland, because I know whenever I would be doing mics and shit, there would just be this upfront judgment when I would get up there. It didn't have anything to do with
And you think that's all based on because of your hair?
what I look like.
I mean, I think you got other features besides your hair. I ain't gonna
Right.
lie.
Yeah,
When
but
I walked in, I forgot you even cut your hair.
yeah, but it's what I look like.
Yeah,
and so I was just like, all right, like you're not even gonna listen to what I'm saying because you're like, oh, you're part of the peach
straight white male clan.
right? Yeah. So I was like,
Yeah, I think I'm doing good in life because I started to feel bad for straight white males now.
and I think you know what's funny.
I'm doing all right.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is
I can relate now.
I've been hearing that from like my black friends and other minority friends. They're like when someone says something, they'll say it to me. They'll be like, if I was to, or it's like if you were to make that joke, blah blah blah, or if you were to say that about this group of people, like you get in trouble for it, but they can just say whatever they want. I'm like, don't defend me now. Like they're like, no, I get it. I'm like, you'll never get it.
You don't know the troubles I've been through.
Yeah, dude.
Persecution.
Dude, straight white males have been saved by like this sudden outbreak of anti-Semitism, bro. It's just like, I know it's biblical and shit, but it's just come back rampantly, dude.
I was like, yo, stop bringing up anti-Semitism. And he was like, no.
I'm just because we all grew up in the same time. We all grew up in the same time where they're like, yo, Hitler bad, Nazis bad. Can't say anything bad about the Jews or you get everyone on you, but like all of a sudden it's just back out of nowhere. And like that's back. No abortions is back. Like that was a law for a long time, and all of a sudden it's back now. Like didn't see that coming.
That's always been on the table.
It's always been on the table, but you never really thought they were gonna take it off. Like you're like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're trying to fucking leverage this to get the.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know your experiences or what led to that conclusion, and that's definitely not wrong. But I feel like after living in Texas for a few years, I was like, oh.
When did you live in Texas?
I lived in Texas from 2016 to 2019.
Oh, then you came here.
Yeah.
What part of Texas?
San Antonio.
Oh,
So
okay.
That's
like a middle ground of Austin and Dallas.
It's like south central Texas, like not south, but like central Texas.
It's kind of like the Philly part. It's like it's
it's right. Yeah, it's a halfway point. So yeah, it's only 4 hours from Dallas, and maybe less than 2 hours from Austin, and about 2.5 hours to Houston.
I like the. There's this dude on Instagram who does these videos. Like he does like the TNT NBA shit, and he's like. But he'll do it like for a day. He'll be like, September 11th, 2001. 2 planes crash into the skyscraper. And Charles, like he does like Charles Barkley impression. He's like, I know why that tower really fell. There's women from San Antonio on it on the top floor.
Yeah, I see that shit.
And big old women from San Antonio.
Big old women from San Antonio.
Okay, tell me. So
I
living.
see y'all at that City Walk.
That's so funny.
So living.
That's so funny because that motherfucker is a big back motherfucker.
Living there, living
mound.
in San Antonio, was Charles Barkley what he said correct?
Nah, fool. Charles Barkley, dog. Come on, fool. Nah, dog. There's hot. Like once you get there's more meat on the bone in Texas, my friend.
Oh yeah,
and that's a glorious thing.
I saw.
Like once you go like that slim thick Texas, like you got that's a land of Selena. That's a land of that's a land of Megan Thee Stallion, Beyonce, like these.
That's that's kind of what my assessment has been of it on the female side is like. You're here in Arizona.
Why do you think George Strait and Drake both got exes in Texas, Doug?
Yeah.
I am part of that group too.
Oh.
And once it's hard with the Texas women, dog. They're gritty, hot women. Like a Texas woman will outdrink you, dog. Have you ever been outdrinked by a woman?
Hot.
Have you ever been outdrinked by a woman? Oh my god, that's
terrible.
My girlfriend. Dude, I was just watching a TikTok, or someone sent me a video to like today or yesterday, and they're like, I don't know who sent it to me, but he's like, so I used to live in LA, now I live in Texas, and one thing I can say is that LA women would beat the shit out of Texas women, mostly because they're all men. I kind of knew it was going that route somehow, but like it was still funny. But I would say the assessment that I've seen.
Maybe he's just fucking a lot of dudes.
I don't know, dude.
Both. Could be true.
Right, dude. I tried to write a joke about that a long time ago that I never really completed, but I was just like, you ever think that...
I think it's funny, like it's a funny joke structure, but it's like there's not really any...
Well, no, it's more like...
It's not valid, though. There's nothing to it.
No, it's more...
Because they wouldn't. Texas women
it's
would
more
beat
that It's more that, like, I don't care if you're trans. The only trans I care about is transparency. You know, like imagine going home with somebody, having sex with them, and that person knows that if you found out that they used to be a dude, like this guy might kill me, but I'm also in love. And so they never tell them. And 10 years later, they're still married. Like, why can't I have kids? You know, but they're still with them. And that person, like, there could very well be a lot of couples out there like that have been together for that long that have no clue.
Oh, I've heard.
Because have you seen some of these?
I'm like, bro, man, you did hit that way, didn't you?
Have you seen some of these trans? Like, you're like, you would think that's a woman, and then when they tell you, like, oh, I used to be a man, then you start looking at their jawline. Then you start like, oh, okay, yeah, I see it now. But if they never would have said anything, you wouldn't have.
If you get like the Mona Lisa of like,
dude, because here's the thing that tripped me out is I was younger.
Trying to set me up.
When I was younger.
For what?
No, don't say anything. It's all
you
me.
guys trying to get me to clip. You guys are gonna clip me saying so.
It's some wild shit.
Yeah,
on Pride Month.
Like I'm trying to.
You're trying to feed the algorithm right now, aren't you?
You're breaking out the weed. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get me to say.
You're the one that asked for it. I was like, I'm
okay, so listen.
Yes.
So when I was one of the things I used to watch a lot when I was younger, my dad and I would bond over it, is we would watch Maury. And you know, most of the time the Maury show was like, is he the father? Is he not the father? But every so often there was like the freak episodes.
Yeah.
And one of the episodes was, is it a man or is it a woman? And they brought out like 25. Oh, you gotta put a battery in.
Yo,
I think that was the universe being like, no.
No. It's
that shit is funny. That was another memory card.
Oh, it needs another memory card? Yeah. No, but they would bring out, they're like, is it a man or is it a woman? They bring out 25 and they're all gorgeous. But now that you're like, is it a dude or not? You're starting to look at all these features and you're like,
you're looking for like, how do I distinguish, right?
And you couldn't.
Because whatever happened,
you couldn't. Oh, my phone. No, he was talking about the guy who went after him.
Yeah.
We won't name names now that we're back, but.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out. I know I didn't ever call him a school shooter.
No, it wasn't.
Sometimes you don't know,
You
dog.
ran it back.
Sometimes you don't like,
No.
bro.
Yeah, sometimes you're just like, man, I'm just being funny. It goes back to the thing of just not trying to offend people, but just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
No, it was Daniel Bridgett.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that happens in a room.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? You remember when we were all like after the show, the audience members wanted to take pictures.
Oh,
They were all asking where he was.
dude, he did good.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
He crushed.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
this whole time.
I didn't even realize. Do you think he knows how funny it is to say, "Hey, I went up there and murdered," and then he gets mad over somebody calling him a mass shooter?
Yeah, dude.
It's like-
but like,
how do you not? I don't know,
dude. I don't. I used to think that I just had them all figured out, and I think this whole time I'm lost.
Hey, man, you know, brother. Sometimes some people are tapped into. Some people are tapped into the divine, and maybe we are not, my friend.
Well,
But yeah, shout out Dustin.
My thing with
I've seen Dustin like when he's not, because producing a show and then being on the show is always a lot. So sometimes you're not as gathered as you can be when you're doing that.
Oh, but that's when he's at his best, man.
Oh, I've seen him when he's not. I've seen him when he's not producing a show. He's just on it, and every time I've seen him, he's done really good. So I always thought he was funny.
Dude, the minute you can get him stirred up, God, he fucking goes. Whenever I'm at a show that he's on, I purposely heckle from the back. And like from there, like, dude, it's like I'm entertained, man. He gets going. Like he came, I remember I was at JP's when I was running through all the open mics, when you would go to the one at Improv Mania and jump over to JP's. I was on Improv Mania first. He was there, and then I'm at JP's, and he comes in there all pissed off, dude. He's fucking furious about something, bro. He's like, these motherfuckers. He's just fucking furious. And he goes up on stage, dude, and murders, dude. Like I'm in tears, dude. I'm in tears laughing. I don't know what he said. It was just so fucking. And then he didn't even stick around. He just left. Like the back door was open from him leaving. And I was like, why don't you do this all the time? Like, dude.
Yeah, shout out Dustin, dog.
Like, dude, yeah, I'm man. You know what's funny about comedy is every time I think I have it all figured out, I realize that I don't know shit.
That is crazy. You know, I just never thought the one time out here you'd be nice about a person, it'd be Dustin Hadlock. So
that's not even me being nice. That's me just. That's just me.
Bro, I've never heard you spew that many compliments about him.
Yeah. About anybody, even yourself.
Who the fuck is Chingo Bling? Dustin Hadlock, though. No, shout out Dustin Hadlock, my guy. I love him, brother. And he brings out the nice guy in you, so I like him even more. More Dustin Hadlock, baby. The Dustin Hadlock.
I'm not saying who the fuck is Chingo Bling, but I just like it's funny. It's funny.
No, you're not saying that, but you're just saying you're not saying that, but you're just saying, have you heard about Dustin Hadlock? Which we need more of. Let's get it,
dude.
I love you being nice like this, and the fact that he brings that out of you.
It's not me being nice though.
It is.
It's not me being nice. I'm not being nice. I'm saying, dude, when I see game, I'm like, look
at that. That's not being nice.
I said.
That's nice, bro.
Right
Last time I got that was very nice, dude. It was Las Vegas. $120 is all it cost.
She had calluses, which concerned me.
Yeah, it was surprising. I didn't go there with any of intentions to do that.
Oh yeah, it was a surprise, dude.
It was.
I never do this. I never usually do this.
It's so weird.
It's so.
It was always funny hanging out with dudes.
Dude, it was a. Can I tell you guys about it?
Yeah.
It was a spa right by a Pizza Hut. No. I was like, here we go, dude. And I was staying in Vegas. It was
pizza and bread dicks.
I was like, bro,
where do you think they get the glaze for the Cinesticks?
Dude, I like to, get a little pre-show massage if I can.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's this one spot in Phoenix. These older Asian homies, they do it. You know what I'm saying? $60, no weird stuff, just normal massage. Talented men, cheap. It's good massage price, right? $60 if you need to, whatever. $20 if you're in a rush or whatever. I was looking for one of those little spas. Stumbled into the one spa number 69 right by the Pizza Hut. Or I think it's called 64. Anyway, just a number. And
yeah,
right when
it's funny, man. They say the same thing.
Right when I walked in and noticed some double doors, which I was like, yo, this is kind of wild for a spa.
You're like, okay, interesting. Following so far.
Yeah, dog. And then out pops a homegirl, and I was like, it looks like a normal spa so far. And then the first little, like, where the fuck am I moment I had was when I got there, beyond the fact that it was right next to a Pizza Hut, is when I got there, there was just, like, the cheapest little, like, hospital blanket on the bed, and I was like, oh, this isn't good.
Disposable.
Yeah. That's you right, dude. That's what it was, dog.
Yeah, it comes off like a paper towel.
Yeah, dude. Like, so I was like, oh shit, okay. And she's
Who
like,
sells these things?
oh no, dude. That's what I was.
There's a market for it.
All of that stuff, yeah, dude. All of the above.
Yeah.
Get some drop shipping.
And I was just like, yo, okay. And she's like, okay, well, you changed now.
Our biggest exporter is Taiwan, but
God damn it.
but yeah, we have those couple smaller markets. Everyone builds their business in Vegas.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
yeah, so big deal. You got to risk the Vegas. You're talking about it like it's a fucking your senior prom.
I've never
dude.
done it before,
what?
dude.
This is my first time.
It's my first time,
Look you in
dude.
your eye-
It was.
first time.
She knows.
You're
She,
like, yes.
she,
Oh,
she
damn,
asked me.
they got a punch card.
They didn't have one.
They didn't have one there.
The homies, never mind, they didn't have one. But anyway, so yeah, dude, it was my first time, dude. It was a big deal for me, dude. I didn't expect that. I
It's
didn't
like
go.
the first time you stumbled into the porn aisle.
Yes, dude. I didn't go over there expecting to, get cranked.
Sure.
I went over there just being
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, so that's my thing. I feel like Vegas is this place where people go where it's a fucking bad news, but you're like, well, I don't know when I got her, but like Scottsdale and Phoenix is like that's for the seasoned vets who are like, no, I know what I want. Like that's
Serve it up.
That's the difference because we've all had crazy Vegas times, and you're like, well, I don't know how I got here, but like, you know what the fuck?
what was, yeah, dog.
It just happened, dude. I don't know. Like, but yeah, Scottsdale, Phoenix is.
I guess
like,
you're right. Because
yeah.
was there a moment in that story where I was like, yo, should I go to a spa right next to a Pizza Hut?
dude. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're right. Part of me is like, okay, I want to see this.
So you're like, no, let's see this through.
Dude, yeah. Like,
I'm right here.
I'm right here, dude.
Yeah, I'm like,
Vegas
What
is.
am I,
is,
pussy?
Is that Vegas is that place for that?
yeah. What's
Keep
behind this
Portland
door?
weird. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah.
I hope there's no sin behind this door. What sin? Since when?
I was just here for the United Methodist Baptist fucking conference.
Oh, this is not yoga.
Yeah, bro. There's always the guy in the company that's like, we should do the company trip in Vegas this year. It's like, well, I guess.
That guy's gonna be me now.
No, I mean that's where like Vegas is the place to. It's almost biblical too. It's the what is that? Is that?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, it's the place, man. It's
the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah.
man. You know what the fuck you're getting into. Dog. Come on, man. Like we
never
literally
heard about
have
this.
we have modern day gladiator fights there. The UFC, like that's where it all happens.
I never heard about this. What is it called in the Bible?
Sodom and Gomorrah. It's like
Sodom
the city
and
of,
Gomorrah?
like, sin.
Yeah.
Sodom
And,
and
where
Gomorrah?
they just did whatever they wanted. They were like fucking each other and all this sort of stuff in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's where all the crazy like weird, as far as away from God as you can get stuff happens. And then that was the place that burned.
Yeah.
First, right? Yeah,
was
God
the
was like,
It was
okay,
the first colony that
First
fell,
of all.
basically.
this place, yeah.
Was it like ever turned at all though? Like, is it
Oh,
turned
yeah,
in
yeah.
there?
Yeah, no, it's everything you could ever want. That's the thing.
Oh,
Like Jesus still kicked it there. You know what I mean?
so he pulled up for real.
Yeah, because everyone goes to Vegas at some point.
Yeah. So then what's wrong? Like, so he pulled up to it though, and he just wouldn't. Like, he'd be like, "Yo, I'm gonna go home."
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Because if you know it's there, the people anyway. If they people out your way doing what they, I don't know how the whole. I'm Catholic. I don't know how it goes.
Oh man,
But-
Catholic. That's a tough one to grow up in, man.
I didn't grow up in it, dude. I became Catholic when
Did you have a girlfriend that was Catholic?
I did. Yes, I did. I had that.
That's how it starts.
See what I
That's
mean?
how it
See what I mean
starts.
with the nice
Sit on
guy?
your head. Wipe it up.
I think you have ashes on your forehead.
Oh
Hey, that's
shit!
kind of crazy. We're talking about Catholicism and you have ash on your forehead.
Yeah, now it looks.
Do I still got it there?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh, you're
gone
good
now.
now.
Yeah.
I was saying
Yeah,
that,
you're
that goes back to my point of the nice guy thing. Like I could see you getting with a girl, change your religion to Catholic, and be like, no, we can wait till marriage.
Oh, you know what's gonna laugh at that? My brothers. My brother's gonna be like, yeah, that's him, pussy.
There it is.
There it is, dude. At one point in the game, yeah. But we actually broke up, and then
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then
and then
you went through your Vegas phase, man.
No, actually, that's when I went to my Catholic face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was to try and get her back.
She hurt you into Catholicism.
That's like when you break up and you're like, I'll fix all the things that you always complained about me now.
Did me becoming Catholic and getting my confirmation and sitting out the whole like first communion process, was that an operation to get my bitch back.
Yes.
Originally, yes.
Guys will go to no lengths.
Originally, yes. But by the end of the 12-month process, I was like mentally and completely like moved on. And I think also for me, I had explored. I didn't grow up in church at all. My mom didn't take us to church at all.
Same.
So, and she was very like, you know, you could just treat people well and you could believe in whatever you want.
Do you ever feel like, because I grew up in the same way, like my mom was this exact same way, made you want to go to church more because you weren't allowed to go? Like if that wasn't a thing you guys did? I was always like, why don't we ever go to church?
Damn, you wanted it? Damn, that's crazy.
That is crazy because I grew up the same way. I had no
Did
desire.
you? Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I was like, nah.
My mom
let's
was
watch,
cool.
let's watch football on Sunday.
Yeah, I
dog.
was like,
what?
we do
I gotta
anything
go
we want on Sunday now?
Sundays and we watch football, get pizza. She make breakfast in the morning.
Hell yeah.
What?
My mom was smart. She didn't like the organized religion thing. 'Cause my dad, he had lupus and almost died, and then I think at that point like he gave his life to God and whatever, and then he survived. He was supposed to die, and he would be at church like putting like hundreds of dollars in the collection plate. My mom was like, "The fuck are you doing?"
Got it.
Like these people didn't save you. It was the doctors who saved you. And so she was like, yeah, fuck this organized religion.
To each their own in regards to how you feel spiritual, whatever it is you use to guide your spiritual compass.
I think it's
to
more
each
like,
their own.
you know, when you can't have something, you're like, I want it more.
Yeah, that's just
So-
an interesting thing, and the first for me that I've heard of somebody like a kid wanting to be like, I wanted to go to church.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I always did, and there wasn't a thing we did. And
so
then
in
like
regards to organized religion, what set did you claim?
none, dude. It's dude. I'm a businessman too, so I'm like, I see what you guys are up to.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like,
what,
have you seen Righteous Gemstones? Have you watched that show?
Dude, I remember. Yes, that's the one with Danny McBride, right?
Yep.
Adam Devine, Danny McBride, John Goodman, star-studded cast, and it's
Yeah.
just about a mega church family.
Yeah, and the homie who plays like the other guy who plays like Danny McBride's like counterpart, he's fucking funny. He's been in like a lot of Danny McBride stuff. I can't think of his name. But yeah, so with me in church, that's where I started off that, and then by the end of it, I also I felt like I went and checked out like a lot of different places of praise, if you may, around Albuquerque. And the one that was kind of just the whole process of going to mass and then the reading the Bible and stuff like that connected with me. So at that time, that's what I signed up for.
Sure.
And by the end of it, yeah, dog, it was more for like a me kind of growth and thing, but it was cool. Yeah, fuck. How did we start here?
We had it at my. I don't think I really experienced or delved into religion until the last school I went to for college. It was like a private Christian school, and I've talked about this before, but we had a class where it's religion of the world. And every week we would bring in a new member from the community in Portland. That was like we had like Jewish, Muslim, we had Native, we had Christian, we had atheists, we had Scientologists.
Dude,
The Scientologist, and then we had to do a field trip to 2 different places.
I never seen a Scientology church until I was in Portland.
Yeah, the Church of Scientology is huge.
There's one here.
Honestly, out of all the speakers,
This is why I love you guys.
out of all the speakers, the Scientology dude was like the most cool.
Swag
You know,
up,
like I was
yeah.
like, this guy is speaking, to me. You know? But like also, he was, man, they're already in a tie, man. They're giving the fucking sales pitch right there on the spot. And I was like, this guy seems pretty rational.
Yeah, and they're definitely like, though, you can't like blood in, blood out type shit, right?
The whole the
Yeah.
the final of that class was every religion. We had to sum it up in 1 to 2 sentences, like explain what
that's
this is. And so for Scientology, it was really weird because it's very ambiguous, but it was like man has created the way the earth is for his pleasure. So with every creation comes destruction, and that's basically what I got from it. And I was like, that's not far off.
You know what I really appreciate about this is how we started off. This conversation started off
Vegas.
about me getting yanked in Vegas, and then now we talked about the place Sigma.
No, that's Catholic. That's Catholicism. You feel guilty, and so you start going to let me talk to my higher self. Whoa, I got a little out of character there. I'm not usually like this.
Oh, that's so funny. That wasn't my intention at all.
Well, that's how the church goes.
I wanted to walk you through my experience, but you stopped that and
Well, I
we
feel
started
like
talking about what is it?
dude? Like we've all like Catholic's a huge religion. Like you meet, and you're you're Hispanic, right? So that's like the biggest one out of that. So a lot of people are that, and just like meeting the people that
stereotypes are funny because they're true.
Yeah, people who I've met, Cali is just like, man, let go of the guilt, dog. Just like stop feeling so bad, man. Like, Jesus Christ, like that's it's like, but their whole that's another thing I learned from that class and from
also
that school.
Another group of homies who are hardcore Catholic, the Irish people.
Yeah, well, that's white people.
Yeah, that's a group of white homies that are.
But I think something from religion that it's really it encompasses more than, even if you claim that you're an atheist, the society we live in America is still Christian at like its values of like, because there's certain laws that people make or certain things that you can't put a number or a fact on, like an abortion thing. Like that's just a moral stance. And that comes down to like people's religion. And religions, even when people don't think they're religious, like, no, the laws that we have put in place and morals that we've built in place are still from religion.
Yeah.
And
I can see what you're going
that's not, it's too, the thing that class taught me was like religion and conflict are so intertwined that it'll never be unraveled, because there's always going to be, at some point you're like, I don't agree with the way you live your life, and now it's impacting me, and one of us is going to have to die. Yeah. And that's kind of how like all the wars.
But like,
stuff.
yeah, like weren't like the Crusaders and stuff like that. Like they were
yeah, dude. Just
that's always how it's been.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like people that are Mormon, even like they go on mission trips. Is like, who said that these people wanted to fucking believe in what you said? Like, what do you mean you're on a, like, are you on a mission trip or are you on a colonialism trip? Like, But if we want to colonize another planet, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, if we want to colonize Mars, that's different.
That's different. That's going to bring us all together.
Yeah, that's not human.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's the thing too. Is
I
think we needed at a certain point. At a certain point, people needed like.
Dude, I just want to say before we move on though, your Mormon comparisons was so funny that I had to not publicly laugh completely loud outside. Like,
why?
Because that was better for my soul. I wanted to drink that.
We don't
one
think that's
in.
weird, like that.
I
Like
wanted to drink
you don't
that
think
one
that's
in
you
from
don't
me.
think that's funny that like these guys like people that play
I think it's
basketball. People
incredible.
that play basketball at BYU is like, nope, got to leave for 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
and I got to go to this
Also,
fucking country and tell
Everybody,
them.
shout out to Mormon homies. Everybody has a Mormon homie who has the keys to a basketball gym.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Love to
dude.
play ball.
I used to work
Just,
in.
yeah, they be hooping.
Yeah, for real.
Mormon homies be hooping. No curse words though.
You can't say fuck when you miss.
No, dude, that's
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Is when I would play AAU, there'd be these teams from Idaho and Utah that would be just crushing teams, dude. I'd be the one white dude on the all black team,
Bro.
and we'd be getting murdered.
A black homie from Utah crushed my basketball dreams.
Yeah,
Here in, did I ever tell you that story?
I feel like maybe, but
When
continue.
It was an Arizona team basketball camp, which if you ever played like those basketball camps, you play like 13, 14 games in a weekend or something.
Never did those.
You never did those? Arizona State would have them, and we would all, like, teams from around the country would come and you play, and you just like run like 13, 14 games over the weekend.
Was Arizona State that desperate for money?
I mean, I think they're like,
They did it at both colleges though.
yeah, they do it like it's
Yeah.
like a common
I'd rather
thing.
go.
I did it-
I'd
I
rather
did
go
it
to
at
U
U
of
of
A. I'd rather go to U of A.
For real.
If I was gonna send, if I had a kid and was sending him to college, I'd definitely be going to U of A.
Why so?
Come on, man. Get out of this area.
It's kind of the same. It might even be worse.
I would rather live in Tempe than.
Yeah, just because there's nothing else to do.
You might be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I know the ASU gets the bad rap, but that's because U of A is good at sports. But like,
That's a good point.
I used to go down there
Sure.
and party, and it was,
Sure.
ooh, it was
Man.
worse.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
You just don't get talked about enough.
Right. So my complete, what I thought was what, is completely wrong. You're going to Northern Arizona.
NAU, there you go.
GCU.
There it is. Who's actually on the rise basketball wise, right?
Dude, but wasn't the school like this close to foreclosing?
I have no idea about that.
I kept seeing TikToks about it. like
Get seeing TikTok.
no, I did. It was like when you don't know if you're having your finals or not, but your basketball team's in NCAA tournament.
Is it? And you know what's wild is like GCU is like one of the most expensive schools in Arizona.
Have you seen
in the hood?
That's
you go one block off the campus,
right off
it's
of
the worst
27th.
place you've ever been in your life.
That's really
it's crazy. Right off of 27th. That's like right off 27th Avenue.
Yeah, it is.
That's a bigger version of like the school I went to because it was this Christian school, but it was right in the hood, dude. It was like disgusting.
That's wild.
That's exactly it.
I was driving one of the comedians home from an open mic, and he's like, "Oh, I live at GCU," and I dropped him off, and like, I seen the area. I was like, "What the fuck?" I pulled up to the Circle K, and there was 3 dudes leaning like this,
dog.
and the dude was throwing paper straws at him like this, and I just like looked around. I was like, this is the right environment. I just pissed on the building.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's something you can do.
This is normal behavior. Oh, he's just peeing.
He's just peeing. Yeah, at least he's only peeing. That's fine. Let him
he's
be.
peeing.
He's just
Cool.
peeing. Let him be.
He's not impeding traffic. But that was really like, I was like, holy shit. Now the jokes are true.
Yeah, no, 27th Ave is a wild place for any place in America.
Yep.
The other worst place that's a little pocket is the Circle K in downtown Phoenix. That's got 4 gas pumps.
It's not. It's any circle. Oh, that one's extra.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that one's like
Because it's in the heart of right across from that Starbucks
yeah, it gets
and the Mexican restaurant.
It's like it's like a place for like homeless homies to gather with the most shade.
that's where that's
A
where
lot of shade right there. dog.
that's where all the nicotine products are behind bars.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of stuff over there. That one, bro.
Have you been to like
open during a certain time?
have you been to
Dude,
like
you gotta be in a wild position to stop me. Put.
have you
gas
been to
there.
like have you been to like well that's the only time you stop at Circle K is when you're in a bad spot. Like that's the only time I would go there to pay for gas and change.
Yeah.
And I'm looked at
And you're looked at as like at least you
normal
got it.
person.
Yeah.
It's like,
versus
thank
like-
God, at least he's paying.
Yeah, like I would never do that at a Quick Trip, man.
Last time I was at Circle K, this dude walked up to me, and he was like,
I got one for you too after this.
He was like, "Hey, AOG." He's like, "Hey, bro, can I borrow some money?" I was like, "What the fuck did you just call me, dog?" He's like, AOG. I'm like, bro, I ain't know what AOG, dog.
Oh, you started tripping.
I started tripping, dog.
Started
So it's more about how you felt.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I'm listen.
Some real Albuquerque shit.
Yeah, dog.
What kind of respect you give me?
I'm about to be 34, dog. I'm not in like OG. Like that shit sounded offensive.
Oh.
I was
Get a little
like,
sensitive, man.
Yeah, I did, dog. I think it was me. So I'm just trying to walk and navigate
This
through
is a
this.
story about how you just wild out on somebody.
Turns
I was
out
like, nah, bro, get the fuck away from me, dog.
turns out it was Jesus.
Strike one, motherfucker.
In my 33rd year too.
He's like, I know how to get this guy.
Yeah. Did I miss the blessing, dog?
I was at a
33-year
I pulled up at a Circle K with my girlfriend. We were putting some gas in the car, and this dude walks up and he's like, "I'm a vampire, bro. Are you a vampire?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro." And he was like, "Right on, man. You want some of this pizza?" I had a homeless person offer me pizza.
How do you look?
I hope that wasn't after Philip's haircut. How wild you gotta like? How crazy you gotta look, dog? Yeah. This homeless person is like, yo, you keep the change.
Oh, dude,
You need this.
My worst fear about me being homeless is that I don't know how to like write on the signs. I'm gonna misspell some shit.
Well,
You're kind of better off.
what I
Sympathy vote.
what I sound last with the
Oh, he can't even spell.
the
Poor guy.
the podcast we do with Josh. I was like, if you aren't an alcoholic already, man, being homeless, you just drink 240s, you could sleep anywhere.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
Yeah. Dog,
have you ever slept on concrete?
Nah.
I have.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and I was
Las Cruces, New Mexico.
that sounds like a place I never want to be. like, that doesn't sound good, bro.
It's just, yeah.
This is New Mexico.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Like cruces sounds like crucifix.
I got fresh with this Native American woman in between two bushes.
Jesus. The more I hear about you, man, I'm like, man, get it together, dog.
Dude, dog, she's a beautiful woman, bro.
Well, after 240s for sure, man.
Yeah, dude.
They're all beautiful women.
Why did your voice get higher? She's a beautiful
She was bigger than the bush.
It's like you're trying to convince yourself.
No, she was, fool. You guys weren't there, dude. You guys weren't fucking there, bro.
You weren't there.
You couldn't tell if the bush was a bush or her pubes.
No, dude, she was very elegant, and she was.
Well,
I don't have a woman to compare her to, but
yeah. She spoke Old English.
Elegant. She reeked of elegance.
Yes, yeah, she reeked of elegance, and and so
She had 2 uncles named Mickeys.
My home was running answer the phone and picked me up, and she left, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna lay back right here and fall asleep between these bushes."
What happens in Las Cruces?
That's how what happens in Las Cruces.
Yeah.
Follows you for a decade at least.
Ends up on the podcast.
It has you in confession, man.
Where'd you fall asleep on concrete?
Like my friend's driveway in the suburbs.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean that it takes away from sleeping on
That's
the concrete.
the funniest soundbite. Where'd you sleep on the concrete?
No, it was funny. You met my friend Corey.
Yeah.
I remember we got tossed one night, and we went back to like our high school team's football game. We were faded, and we were driving back in the Uber, and Corey was throwing up in a Taco Bell bag, but it shot through the plastic and just all over the dude's car. And the dude was driving. He's like, "Oh, he's puking all over my car." He's like, "Can you hear it? Can you hear it?" He was so nice about it, man. But like, dude, yeah, just fucking straight through the plastic, dude. And I was like, "I'm done, bro." Like my buddy's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry." He's trying to clean it out. I just fell asleep on his sidewalk.
We've all been there, dog.
I mean, some of us, man. Dude, the first time you were on this podcast,
Wait, hold on. Have you ever slept on concrete?
No.
All right.
I've always had somebody pull me away and just care about me.
You know what that reminds me
I
of?
almost did it one time. I hopped over a wall and I fell in the bushes. And
You
they were
just
looking
gave
for me.
You just gave up. Oh no!
But then they were looking for me and I heard them. They were like, "Yo, yo," and I was like, "Shh." I started shaking the trees because I couldn't like articulate words. So I started shaking the fucking bushes.
Like your ancestors.
He's in the bushes. And they pulled me out of there.
His ancestors.
Out of the community in the olden days.
Bush shake.
There.
That's like some show, Red Dead Redemption 2. When the bushes shake, move in.
Yeah. They put
Yeah,
me
I've
up.
had I had one crazy story when I was
heard a
in
camera
when I was in
somewhere.
Oh.
I'm not sure which one it was.
dude. I had my camera click on me during a set. I was doing an hour, and I was like, heard it, and Rob was like, "Oh, you film me?" I was like, "Okay." And it ran out of battery.
Oh,
I heard it. I was like this.
On your shit?
Yeah, I was doing it, and I heard beep. And I was like,
Yeah, dog. I never film. Like, yeah, I never ask. I hate when it happens, or I would hate for that to happen. If I'm always headlining and I asked them to film my set.
Dude, we filmed a show. I didn't even do the show, but we filmed on this camera like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and dude, it looked amazing. No audio.
Damn. Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. Like,
you familiar with the rapper Wale?
mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I drove 6 hours to interview Wale one time, and we
haven't talked about that at all. We haven't talked about your radio life. Like, I have a lot of questions about that.
Dude, I don't think I've finished one story.
That's okay. That's okay. Because
I don't think I've ever
Not
finished.
in its
I don't think I've finished talking
I
about.
was like always like, oh, I got a good
No,
one for
it
that.
is great.
no,
it's
but
great
something
'cause-
because I have
but
you
that's
here.
what I like too.
Because I have you
it was
here.
sprinkled throughout. It was like
Because I have you
I
here.
never finished
Let's
a
take a
fluffy
commercial
story.
break.
Yes.
I never finished a story about how I got dunked on at
Yes.
the ASU team camp by the guy. Black guy.
Well, here's what my coach said in college. He said, "You're not playing good basketball unless you're getting dunked on."
There you go.
But chain so big can't pop my collar. I get it. Wale's great. You're in a radio game. I have a lot of questions about that. So I've heard you in the morning before when my phone's dead and I can't play the aux.
That's what we're there for, baby.
Yeah. Are you actually working are you live during that time? Is it pre-recorded?
We usually, like, for a lot of morning shows, since we flagship here, we are live.
Okay.
But then a lot of content is pre-recorded too, as well. Like a lot of our bits.
Is there a page where people can complain about the show? Like you guys would get a read
there's
complaints?
just the internet.
Okay.
yeah.
And then sometimes you get like people who like call in or like they'll like leave voicemails or.
You know, dude, that was funny. When I was in El Paso, the headliner and I went on the radio station.
Oh yeah.
And he played like these voice messages. They were insane, dude. Like
The host did?
yeah, the voice messages were insane. Like it was like, yeah, this is Don from blah blah blah, and Civil War's coming, brother, and Trump 2020, and like he was going off, and we're just like, it was too stereotypical, man. You're like, oh, okay, people like that do exist. That's why the stereotypes are out there.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, no, we've had, especially when we were here for the election year, but like especially being in Arizona, was an interesting time. And then for like during the pandemic, we were deemed essential employees because like the radio still is like a medium, like a tool,
right,
like a service for the community.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. How'd you land that gig, by the way?
DJ Automatic. I was doing like comedy, and then I was doing a lot of interviews for YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I interviewed Wale, I wasn't even on the radio then. I was just like I would like do interviews, and then I would send them out to like different like hip hop websites.
Oh, okay.
And that's when like the hip hop websites were big. And I would just send them out, and then the blogs would repost them. So that's how I would get a lot of interviews. And then we through that we drove up got Wale to agree to interview. Fucking drove 6 hours from Albuquerque to Denver. One of the coolest nights. Got to kick it with him for New Year's Eve. Partied with him and shit. Talked football with him. And then we did the interview, and he was dope as fuck. We just didn't adjust the audio levels or the audio from the mic to the we plugged in our mic into the camera, but didn't switch it over.
Down.
No, we didn't turn it over to like the microphone mode. So there's just no audio.
Fuck,
dude. And Wale was in there, and it was right before he signed a MMG with Rick Ross, but he was signed to Jay-Z at the time, and he was just saying how he thought on like Rock. It's all stuff that he ended up eventually saying, but he said on Rock Nation he just wasn't getting the looks he wanted through Jay-Z, and I was like, when it was happening, I was like, oh, bro, I'm about to be fucking.
Yeah, I'm about to be on, dude.
Yeah,
I'm getting the scoop, dude.
I'm about to get my own show. I'm about to be. It's over, dog. When he was telling me all this shit, I was like, bro. And then we partied hard as fuck that night. One of the funniest stories in Denver ever happened. We got intervened with this like couple who were fighting.
I love that.
Yeah, dog. We were because like that was a blessed situation, bro. Like very few nights I'm like. It was cool. Like we were allowed to go in his green room. He gave us bottles. Like fucking had these like big ass Jamaican beers. We're the Red Stripes.
Red Stripes.
Yeah, Red Stripes.
Yeah, dog. Like none of his homies wanted to drink them, and they had like a cooler full. So they were just like, oh yeah, but we were free. We were fucking pounding Red Stripes, dog. Walking around his bottle with a bottle club with a bottle of Patron, and my homie Mario pulls this one chick bag, and she's like, yeah, I just got done fighting with my man, this and that, and we're just like, he's just backstage. What? You kicking it? You good? Homie Nolan is out front looking for weed, runs into this other dude who's like, yeah, my lady just left me. I don't know where she's at. We all get into the production van to leave. Fucking Nolan and the homie are sitting in the front. Mario and the chick slide, like they don't even notice each other. Mario and my friend slide in the back seat. So now, like, we pull off, bro, and sure enough, he just like the boyfriend just like goes, hold up, and looks back, and his girl's in the back seat with us, dog.
Oh my god!
And then they just start going at it. I can't believe you fucking here. You ruined my night. Da da da. They're just arguing with each other. And then out of nowhere, she just yells out, "You're not even a real Rastafarian."
Damn, bro.
And then I was like, whoa.
Got him.
Oh, shit. He got mad.
Only girls can cut that deep, man. Only girls can do that.
I didn't even know what those words meant, dog. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, like,
what is...
And then they know everything that your entire life is wrapped up into.
Boom, they got it. Just one thing, dog. And that dude just got out he just opened the van and then just took off running, bro. And we don't know where he went, but we dropped her off at home, and the homie dropped his weed in the car, so we had a bunch of little joints. That was cool. But yeah, that was Denver.
So I like how you brought back your Wale story.
Yeah, and
that's good. That's good. That's good crowd work. You stuck to the bit. So I just want to know, like, you got into, how did you get your job, basically?
With Automatic, when I was doing all these YouTube interviews around Albuquerque, he kind of caught wind of it. And I interviewed him one time, actually. And then we just kind of stayed in contact. And Dana's co-host at the time, he got another job, so he went and did that. And then she brought me on. I guest spotted with her for like 2 weeks, and it kind of just clicked right away.
Yeah.
And then we just been rocking since then. And I was like 20.
You guys seem like it's a very tight unit. at
Yeah,
the
dude.
radio station?
Well, me and the show, the Dana Cortez show for sure, just because we've been through a lot. Like we went from Albuquerque, moved to San Antonio together, and then from San Antonio we were on a station, left the station, started the syndication, and then that's what brought us here to Phoenix.
Okay.
And then, so yeah, and then like the team just continues to grow too, because like Automatic's the Suns DJ.
Yeah.
So like that's like a whole other like thing that's.
Weren't you at the Suns game doing something?
Yeah, like shout out to them recognizing brown homies. Anytime they do like Chicano night or something, they bring me in the
They know
host.
who to hit up.
Yeah, dog. they're like, bring out the Dickies, bring out the Cortezes, dog.
Who's the brown people I know?
Yeah, dude. So shout out to the Suns for recognizing what's up, fool. And so I got a host for them for Chicano night, dog.
I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, that's cool.
That was sick,
amazing.
bro. I almost bodied up Joel Embiid, bro.
For what?
Because in the beginning of the game, they say, "Hey, that was a sick moment. Like you run out, the lights go black, and then the cheerleaders run out, and then the flag dudes run out with the big old flags, and then the gorilla runs out, and then you run out after the gorilla with the microphone, and you're hot, like the whole place, and you're trying to get everyone to stand up. The bowl, like the front bowl people, they're all the rich people, so they ain't really gonna stand up.
Yeah.
But everyone else, you're just like yelling, like, get up, get up.
Yeah, just hyping them.
Just hyping them. And I asked them, I was like, all right, so where do I run to? And they're just like, go all the way down the court if you want. And shit. So I went fucking all the way down. And then I couldn't hear them in the earpiece, but they're like, yo, Anthony, come back. Bro, as soon as I fucking turned around, I almost run into Joel Embiid. Dog.
No way.
He hits me with like little, like, yo.
You're like, hey.
I'd be like, oh.
He was like slightly brushing to the side.
Yeah, he's like, oh, watch out, little fella.
Come on.
I was like up to his waist. Dog. That was crazy. So, yeah, that's what that was. Shout out to Joel Embiid, bro. Oh
Jesus
man,
Christ.
I don't think Adam asking me a question and then getting up to leave has intentional as it looks on camera. So don't take it personal.
Don't take it personally. Adam just sucks.
I'm trying not to.
Aw, it's okay, buddy.
No, it's all good, dog. It's like every time I'm with you guys, I'm like, I feel like I've only been here for 10 minutes, but I know we've been here for like an hour.
Oh, it's 2 hours.
Yeah,
now.
I already know.
Yeah, I was like, I was telling her, I was looking at him, I was like, we need to fucking land this, dude.
That's how he is.
It's a lot
dude.
for me to edit.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a lot, dog. I already knew it, dude. We didn't finish one story.
Dude, no, they were great.
It was great. It was a fun
Dude, I
time.
kind of liked how it was
Adam-
like weaved. Like,
Adam kind of reminds me of Denzel Washington when he played that drunk pilot. And he's back now.
there he is.
Yeah, I heard everything you're saying about me, and I listened to everything, so don't take it personally.
I didn't. That's why I was really sure in the audience.
I just had a pee-pee. But yeah, you made fun of me earlier in the podcast for not being able to complete a story. But it's like, dude, give me the,
I didn't say you. I said me.
No, you talking about me. You were saying something about how I went on the scratch
Took
it.
offensive.
And I was like, bro, I'm telling you where I'm at. And you just kept criticizing Anthony Davis. You guys have the same name. And I was like, dude, fuck you. Like, can I talk?
Yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, your stories either have like no path or they just like start from the origins.
No, they have an exact path.
You need to
I'm
know
sorry.
the
I'm
lore.
sorry you can't see it. I'm sorry you can't see it. But not everyone got the vision, baby.
What'd you do in that bathroom? You came back different.
Oh, I pissed, dude.
Oh, I peed for so long.
Dude, so
Michelob Ultra's got your boys going.
they're all gone. And so when the ultras are gone, that's when we got to wrap it up. But I feel like I know a little bit more about you. Maybe next time we have you on, I'll learn some more.
Yeah. Always the biggest compliment I get was like people like seeing you outside of the radio as well.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's awesome. I always hear that about when you were on the last time. But
Damn, hell yeah. I appreciate y'all. This is always fun and it's always a treat being with you boys and I think we got some good content.